Well, great day to you all. I hope that this morning you guys were all able to wake up super grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. And I hope that you were able to not only set that high vibe for yourself, but also maintain that high vibe up until now, no matter what. Because you can. You know, and a lot of people say, oh, well, things are rough, and life is rough, and this is rough, and that is rough. Yeah, well, guess what? Being clear about the things that you genuinely want for yourself opens many doors to having exactly that for you. What do I mean? Well, if you genuinely want to feel great, you have to take the inspired actions to do so. And if you really want to advance, no matter what you're doing, you have to be clear. It's like, let me use this as an example. Let's say you're going to China on a trip. Okay? Well, you're not just going to be clear about that you want to go to China. There's a lot of things and a lot of steps that you're going to have to take to plan your trip, to prepare for your trip, to pack for your trip, before you even go on your trip. Well, if you've been in a constant state of not feeling well for an extended period of time, the only thing that you really have to be clear about is that you really don't want to feel like that. You can take inspired actions daily to make sure that you do not embody the same feelings that you're trying to avoid. I'm going to remind you guys all today, again, that the majority of the situations that we live in our life affect us to the magnitude of a couple of things. Number one, how much meaning they hold to us in our life is the exact correlation to how much they will affect us. Okay? So you really have to be clear about what you give meaning to in your life. Okay? By mere choice alone. Then it's not only the situations and circumstances that we have to live that really affect us about what we're living. It's our own perspectives of how we see things or how we're processing the information that we are picking up within our senses. It's very, very, very important to realize that thoughts are things and they create feelings within your body. So, self-accountability and radical responsibility for wanting to feel well, you can take little inspired actions to do so. And there's a couple of things that you can actually do every day to recondition your thinking patterns. The first thing that you got to do if you're waking up in the morning and you can't set that grateful vibe is you have to initiate a gratitude journaling for yourself. Literally. What do I mean by that? Okay. Well, you get up every morning. You have either a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen. And if you cannot yourself remind yourself of the things that you have to be grateful for, start writing them down on a daily basis. Remind yourself every day of the things that you have to be grateful for. But when you realize how lucky you are to be given another day in this experience, to live out whatever it is that your mission is, well, that alone is reason enough to be grateful. And that will set the tone for your day. I've been telling you guys continuously about being grateful. Yesterday, with the vibrational live that I did, you guys understand the magnitude of why it's so important to be grateful. Okay? If our security of our being is in our root chakra, and that's where we stay grounded within our own self and within our own life, well, you have to remove the fear because that's a lowered vibration. And you have to remove the anger, which is a lowered vibration. And you must remove the shame, blame, guilt, or denial. How do you replace that stuff? Well, you replace it with self-acceptance and self-love and self-care and self-motivation. You can do this by mere choice. You know, there's a lot of inner work that I've done, and I told you guys many, many times, and I'll say it again today. If you need to remind yourself of all your great qualities, write them on Post-its and put them all over your house. I even talk about it in one of my books, how in order to retrain my brain, I needed to plaster my walls with positivity for a long period of time. And any hardship that I've come back from, I've had to retrain my mind and recover from me also being in a victim mentality. Okay? I lived many years going, oh, okay, well, why is this happening to me? Oh, you know, it doesn't feel good. Oh, I don't like myself. Oh, I don't like my life. You cannot do that to yourself and expect to feel well. I had to figure that out the hard way. So guys, I encourage you to just take little inspired actions according to your clarity of what you want for yourself as an individual. So what do I mean about being clear? Well, be clear within your own being, without distractions or distorted visions. Sit with yourself clearly and ask yourself, is this really the way that I want to feel? And why am I not taking inspired actions to feel better? Is doing what I've done all my life, is it helping me now? Or is it hindering me? You got to take a look at that. Self-awareness is key. You have to know what's going on within. And how do you do that? You got to stop and take a look at it. I tell you guys all the time, there's no better way to get to know yourself than to spend time with your own being. Literally. Without distractions. A lot of people say, Toby, I can't sit in silence. Toby, I can't. You know, yes, you can. The first thing that you need to do is take the I can't out of your vocabulary. We hang on to patterns of things because we believe that it serves us good. But when you be self-accountable with a lot of self-reflection, you realize the patterns that need shifting. From that moment, when you get clear about why you don't want to feel the way you do anymore, well, then you need to get clear about the way you do want to feel. When you feel the clarity of what you want for yourself, there will be nothing that will stop you from attaining it. Because anything that you believe and your brain accepts as a suggestion, the brain's job is to make it real for you. So if you sit there and tell yourself that the brain works for you and not the other way around, you're ahead of the game. You see, because the mind will do whatever's best for us by the laws of least effort. Literally. So if your own brain doesn't think that you're ready to face certain things in your life, your body will actually stop you. And your ego will stop you from experiencing it or learning about it. Hey, Irina, clarity is power. Yes, it is. It opens the doors to everything. But the subconscious brain, if you're not ready, it will block you from exploring your own memories, exploring your own locked, stored emotions, exploring keys to wellness or routes to get there, because it's going to do what is easiest for you. I want you guys to push past that limitation. I want you guys to tell your brains that it works for you. I do not want anybody to be lost and not have the control of their own being, because it matters. And this is, if there's anything that I want you guys to take a look at today, it's this. Are you powering your thoughts and your speech and your ideas? Or is that all running on an automatic program? Because if you have been running on an automatic program, well, it's time to take control of that. Literally by choice. Because you cannot question why you are creating the feelings that you're having, the outcomes in your life, the relationships that you do have, the interpersonal relationship that you have with your own self. Guys, you got to get clear. You got to get clear. Once you tell yourself that your body works for you, your mind works for you, it will do just that. But until you take that initial step for the radical responsibility of what's going on in your own being, your brain will continue to operate you, just as it has up until now. I highly encourage you all to push past those limitations of even your own mind. Take a look at it. Sit with it. Understand the brain patterns that are happening within your own being. Because unless you take a look at it and accept it for what it is, you cannot change it. It is a major law of the universe for change. You have to be able to identify it and accept it in order to change it. You can't stop feeling terrible unless you admit to yourself and accept to yourself that you do not feel right. Then you can change it. This is what I mean. Guys, I want you to get clear about the way that you want to feel as a person in this world and in your life. I want you guys to take a look at how you show up for yourself and how you show up for others. I want you guys to take a look at, if you're not feeling well, are you taking the daily inspired actions to not feel that way? Or are you sitting in the suffering, allowing it to be a pattern? Which is going to produce into an illness, which is going to produce into a disease. You can't do that to yourself, unless that's what you want. But who wants that? Who consciously, knowingly, drives themselves to disease? I don't know anybody that would do that to themselves. Well, unless you are consciously in control, you are driving yourself to disease. Brilliant. Irina, I love you. I just want to empower people. Today, you know what? I'm tired of people making excuses for why they don't feel good, instead of using those exact excuses as reasons for inspired actions to feel better. So that's what I'm pushing. I want people to be clear. All you got to be clear about is you want to feel better. That's the first choice you have to make as an individual. Is that you don't want to be ran by your brain. You don't want to be run by your experience. You want to be the one in control and in the power of your creation of your being, number one, and your life, number two. Literally. We all have sat in many feelings. I'm not new to it. Of feeling like we weren't good enough. We weren't capable. We were just stuck dealing with life with whatever we were handed. It's all a false perception. I want you guys to get clear about that. Suffering is a choice. Survival is a choice. And only you alone are causing those outcomes in your life. Nobody else is doing that to you. So I want you guys to be really self-accountable today in ways that you never have been. And push past any limitation that you yourself is setting for yourself. You can have anything. You can do anything. I want you guys to feel the power of that and make it happen. Start small, if that's a must. Baby steps create the hugest change over just a small period of time. Guys, you have the power to do it. Okay? There's no person, place, or thing that has the power over you more than you have the power over your own being. Literally. I don't want anything to be stealing your power, even unconsciously. You know how many things happen to us in our life and we put so much power and effort into things that just run us in circles that are no good for our being? Because we want to people please and because we want to be loved and be accepted. And no, you guys got to do this for yourself primarily. Love and accept yourself. Love your experience. Love your learning. Be open to more lessons. Be open to life. Because if you're surviving life, you're not living life. Let's get back to living. Thriving. Being abundant. In your health primarily. In your mindset. In the way you show up for yourself. Guys, you're amazingly you. Unique signature. No knockoffs. There's nobody like you on the planet. Why wouldn't you want to become the best version of yourself humanly possible to show up as? It doesn't make any sense to me why people will stay in the back of the class when they want to be seen and heard. Guys, I love you all. This is why I do it. I encourage you guys all, get self-aware more than ever today and be accountable for getting clear with your own being. If you are not clear about what you want to feel, if you are not clear about where you are going in this journey of life, well, how are you going to get there without an itinerary? How are you going to get there without a plan? How are you going to get there? You don't get there by wishing that you're going to get there. You're not going to get there by hoping you're going to get there. You're not going to get there by depending on somebody else. Guys, hold your power firm and use it to your advantage, not for your destruction. Literally. And you can do that. And I can't accept excuses because you know how many people tell me, oh, it's easier said than done? Bullshit, I've done it. Okay? So I'm the wrong person to be giving excuses to. Born into a family of alcoholism, my father... Everybody that knew my father knew who he was, and I love him very greatly, and he is a very strong, powerful man in his own right. But it was a horror story living under his hand. Well, that was not going to be one of my excuses to be a shitty person, or what I accept for myself, or creating an alcoholic lifestyle for myself after that by watching what he did. Well, I corrected that too. Oh, okay. Numbed myself for years on chemical drugs and all kind of things because I couldn't cope with my own reality. Well, I corrected that too. All inspired actions. It's about not wanting to feel the way you do. From that moment when you can accept that you don't want to feel like that anymore, you can make it change. But nobody can hand that to you. And $1 million cannot buy that for you. You can make that very possible for you. Every excuse that you want to say about having too much to do than to do what's right for you, well, those are all the same reasons why you have to. Okay? You can make anything possible. Guys, I encourage you all to do it. Step up for yourself and do whatever it takes to empower your being. Okay? Because if you stay in a disempowered state, you are going nowhere but into the dirt fast. I guarantee you of that. So like I've said many times, I'll say it again today. Would you be rather prepping your obituary or your plan for a great life? And if you had to write your obituary today, what would it say? You know, Maya Angelou says, a lot of people will forget what you said or what you do. But people will never forget the way you've made them feel. Guys, I hope and pray. Obituary versus, but it's true. It's what are people doing? Are they living their life to write their obituary, or are they living it to plan for a great life and take the inspired actions? It's just either or. You're either dealing with your demise or you're designing a great life. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. It's either or. Yeah. But that's facts. Irina, I love you. I love you. But yeah, guys. And you know what? If you really want to analyze who you are as an individual right now on this planet, sit down and write your obituary. That will wake your ass up, if anything. Because that's going to tell you a lot about yourself. What would it say? What would it say? You're either growing or die. Yes, exactly. You're either growing and evolving or spinning into a spiral death. It's either or. You're either going up or going down. And it's all a choice. People think, no, it's my situation, my circumstance, my this, my that. Okay, all those excuses are the exact same reasons. Literally. Guys, I'm going to come off here. I love you all. This is why I do it. And guys, I want you to reach out to somebody. Michael Whitehouse, the guy who knows a guy. He's launching 24 summits this year. This is the gentleman that's doing the Breakthrough Summit coming up. Irina, victim versus hero. Yes, that's right. And you got to be your own hero because there's nobody coming to save you. At all. I realized that the hard way too. Yeah, nobody's, you got to save yourself. Pull out your own cape and say, all right, bring it on and let's do this. And, So guys, look, Michael Whitehouse, I want you guys to reach out to him. If you're interested in joining summits, getting out there listen, he's doing all kinds of different summits. Perfect networking opportunities. I just did a 2-hour networking for Speaker Connections. Amazing group of people. My mind is blown away. I'm really excited for the upcoming summit. I hope and pray you guys have all registered. I know that there's 26 of you that have. Well, guys, get on it. I know there's a lot more that come out and watch my videos and come out and support. Well, guys, register for the summit. Because when I get that list of names, well, I hope and pray that you're on it. I love you all. Have a great day. Set that high vibe. Irina, I love you. Thank you for coming out. Guys, have a great day. Set that high vibe. Don't let anything stop you. Because in actuality, you are the only one stopping yourself. So instead of doing that, if you really want to tap in and feel your power fully, reach out. Because you have to master it within yourself before you can help anybody else with it. And anybody who's in the coaching world knows you are your first client. Well, guess what? I've mastered the healing for my first client. And for many others' lives that I've touched also. So, guys, let's do this properly. All right? I love y'all. Set that high vibe. Peace.